Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. And we're having coffee and I got some smoke going. Why? Because there's some clearing that needs to be done. And this sage is representative of that. And this is really, it's interesting. What the first two cards that came, today's subject matter are some pretty hot topics. Fear, Donald Trump, the inauguration, the California fires. Let's see what the guides have to talk to about us. Specifically, Orion is here working through me this morning to guide me into the understanding. And this is a very physical representation of letting go, clearing out. I've lit a candle to create a circle for us here of safety. Because of these hot topics, many of us can be very triggered. Got my beautiful turn up the love, life is good. Do what you love what you do. That's what this is about today, amidst those hot topics. So the native spirit card, I brought up the idea of smudging before I pulled this card. Smudging ceremony, a clearing away. And we're going to pull mainly from the energy deck, but from the rooted woman, and this is an interesting one, the bog. And the bog is a place where we can get stuck. We can get stuck in that cycle of our old way of thinking about how things are going and staying in that vortex of fear that is being propagated on so many levels. And it's real important as you look at things that are going on in the world, as you may be asking the questions about what is really happening here, that you tune in to your gut, to your intuition, to your feelings about all that is happening. Because interestingly enough, I decided, I could understand certainly what this card was saying, but I thought, I want to tune in to what the rooted woman has to say. And this card isn't in the deck. It is likely a mistake in the book. This is the number one card in the places. And of course, the bog is about stagnation, staying where you are when it's time to move out of that. It is time to move away from the fear, the angst, the blame, the name calling, because it gets us nowhere. It got this hair hanging on my eyelash. It gets us to a place of hopelessness, powerlessness, dis-ease, anxiety, stress, all of these things which are not in our highest and best good for moving forward. It really is time to go inward and do your own work. Feel out these situations. I highly recommend that you stop tuning into the news, all of it. There is a news that you can get for free that is just headlines called 1440. It comes by email. And you can also subscribe for $10 a month. It'll come every weekday. If you do just the free version, it'll come three times a week. And hello, Madeline. And it will give you what's going on in the world, which we do need to stay connected, but we do not need to stay immersed. So smudge, clear away, get out of that cycle that you are in that's keeping you locked in all these fearful energies. Just going to put my shell back up there. And so let's talk about the energies. First, let's talk about fear. This became, I think I really tuned into the energy of fear and what was being propagated when COVID first began. And the commentator on the nightly news, everything in me went, oh my God, there is so much deception, fear mongering, wanting to stir up. And they did a really good job of it. All of these energies, and fear controls and fear puts you in a freeze mode. And it is a state of powerlessness in which you're giving your power to an outside force. When you come in and you work within yourself, doing some breath work first thing in the morning is a great way. And Julia is smudging as well. Lovely. That is who sent me this beautiful mug. Reminds me very much of the old restaurant mugs that were all brown, quite ugly, but the shape and the feel quite heavy. And I, for whatever reason, love the feel of this mug. So how do we work through? Let's look at the energy of fear from the cards. The thinking woman. And this is in the upright position. And this is about you really beginning to trust you. Now, often you'll hear me say, get out of your head and go into your heart, but they are interconnected. You want to go from your heart to your head for the guidance you need to move forward. Stay open, willing, and ready. Connect regularly to your higher guides, power, your higher power, your guides, your angels, your companions, because they're going to give you, through your mind, the insights and awarenesses you need that are going to take you to the sources that are going to help keep you balanced and okay as we travel through this very tumultuous, very fast moving year. Many of us are being physically shaken up in many ways. Some it's very fear producing, maybe dis-ease processes that we're becoming aware of. Others, it's just this kind of weirdness that keeps happening. Me, it's like I'm in menopause again with hot flashes, but the hot flashes are coming and then just times of just perspiration. My walks, and I've been taking these walks for a long time. These last few weeks, I am just sweating. Dripping sweat on the same walk I'm taking. Of course, this is cool weather. I don't overdress. This is a way our bodies are reacting to these shifting energies. We are this physical being here having this we're our spiritual being having this human experience. And so our spirit is responding and our physical is also in response. So be willing to accept that when you ask, the answers will come into your brain, your thoughts, your imagination. And then we go, oh, I just made that up. But Creator only has a few different ways to get messages to us that we will respond to. We haven't seen too many, oh gosh, the same message again. Too many burning bushes, none that are speaking to me. So pay attention to the ways Creator does speak to you. Your mind is the key number one place they're going to give you your answers, and the answers are immediate. And then we go, I made that up. So begin trusting that you can receive what you need. The next card again is walking away. The things that have caused you fear, angst. We're going to come up and talk on Donald Trump here in a minute. Many of you are very fearful about what his presidency is going to bring. And I understand, but fear creates powerlessness. How about we move to curiosity? Because he is a disruptor. It is, and this country, not to mention the world, is in disruption in so many places, but this country needs to be disrupted. We have been a cesspool, especially in government. And he coined it slime, but I got to tell you, 32 years ago, when I became a new nurse, I was working at the hospital, and we had a beloved Democratic governor by the name of Cecil Andrus. And he did some wonderful things. And I got into the elevator, and there is Cecil Andrus, because there was a cabinet member of his on our floor, and he was coming to visit, and stood there and went, hello, Governor Andrus. And I shook his hand, and I was so disappointed because of the slime that I felt there long before Donald Trump coined that. The slime that is politics. All of this needs to be disrupted. We're going to talk about the fires in California from a very non-emotional point of view. It is horrendous what is happening. There is stuff behind this. So we will be looking at that. So walking away from your old embedded way of thinking and stepping into curiosity. What is possible here? As the disruptor, Donald Trump is ripe to make changes. This is going to be very necessary as we move through these next few months. Rest and rejuvenation. Give yourself space in your calendar to just take you time, to take time away from. And again, get out of the news, get out of Good Morning America, get out of Fox News, get out of Sky News, get out of all of it. Find a way to just get the headlines of what's happening in the world. That is plenty right now. All of the opinions. We have so little real news reporting, but we have a multiplicity of op-eds, everybody's opinion. You need to do you. This rest and rejuvenation is about you working your own healing. Doing breath work helps that, especially if it's physical healing. Much of what we need to do, a breath work routine will help because you're hyper oxygenating your body when you do that. Like I've mentioned before, the one I follow is Wim Hof because he's simple. There's breath work beats, Breathe with Sandy, both great. And both of those guys are really handsome. So sometimes maybe that's a good choice to look at those. But you have to do you. No one else can do it for you, but they can manipulate the hell out of you. So if you are not in alignment with yourself, you are easily led. Let's see what's on the bottom. my least favorite card in this deck, Man Holding a Heart. But what this is about is your emotions. And you are in high emotion right now. That is what is being brought forth by this card. Donald Trump stirs up the emotion. All that he's doing is stirring up emotion. On some sides, that's yay, I love the things. On other sides, that's holy shit. How are we going to do this? This is so awful. We again have to go inward. We can only manage our own energy and what we're sharing in the world. If we are spinning in fear and anxiety and stress and anger, that is what we are sharing. We can influence the world one single person at a time by managing our own vibration. Gratitude practice every morning, breath work, shedding pure love and joy for a minute or two on whatever, the government, situations, the fire, whatever you feel led to, all the animals, the innocents in this world that are suffering. Whatever you feel led to shed your very valuable energy on. So Donald Trump is a disruptor. He's there. It's happened. It's now time for us to deal with anxiety in reverse. This is saying it is time to move from that. That is right up there with fear in that it holds you in place. It does not allow you to receive everything that you can receive to move forward with. So allow the fear to leave, allow the anxiety. Breath work is a very good way. Long before I understood that I had traveled with low-level anxiety, and I didn't know that until I started a brain health supplement about 9-10 years ago. The only supplement in my life that I have ever felt a change in. But I'd been taking it 9 days, not expecting to feel a change. And I had a situation going on where I should have been in high anxiety. And I realized, wow, I am not hitting panic every day like I have my whole life. But I didn't know until I didn't have it, that I was living with low-level anxiety. I would instinctively breathe through it, just, whew, okay, and I could go on because it's low level. It doesn't overtake my whole being. But a breathwork practice can absolutely help you address your own anxiety propensity. That's a very physical tool. And choosing to do those energy routines, in the raising of your vibration through gratitude and love shedding. And then the daily energy routine that I've sent out to several of you that will help you maintain your inner balance. And that is absolutely, we're going to pull one more card on Donald Trump here. It really is surrounding the energies he is bringing up in the world. And this is the thinking man in reverse. And this is a very masculine energy. But this is telling me that, believe it or not, through Donald Trump, this very, very power-seeking man, that toxic masculine is reversing. It is beginning to fall away. And again, as a disruptor, he is the one that's going to put things in place that are causing the breakdown. And that is what is beginning to happen. That's what we're all beginning to feel. And so this is all a very charged energy. I'm going to draw now on the inauguration because that's coming up. And again, a very cosmically charged energetic time. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. That is your heart chakra. I urge you to send love to the whole process, the day, and the people involved. Love can change like no other. And truly, those of you out there who absolutely hate Trump and wish he would die, the disruption that would cause is far reaching to the process that we could have much more gently if he stays there and follows his path of shifting disruption. So shed love on that inauguration day, shed love around all the people working to protect it, to protect him, shed love on our country throughout that day so that those who can let that love filter through them, it's not our job to choose that. Our job is to do what we can, and that shedding pure love and joy, getting into your heart space. So remember, it looks like something like dropping in. You just put your focus right here on your heart and think about something you love deeply. Good morning, Christine. And think of something that makes your heart swell. It can be your pet. It can be the innocent animals in the world that are suffering right now, some by the fire, some at the hand of man. Whatever makes your heart swell, and you can feel that intense love, and then turn it on yourself first for about 30 seconds. Let you absorb that powerful love energy that you give when you love something deeply, and then turn it out into the world and see that love energy as a color, a ribbon going from you to that inaugural space, to all the people working to protect it and keep it safe, to Trump, to the people that are attending, to all of the legislators that are there. Cover them in love so that they can absorb, take in the part of that that works for them, that they are able to take in, that can shift them, that can shift the energy. It's not our place to judge. But when we stand in that place of love, we are standing in power, in true, authentic power. And that is where we want to always be coming from. And I encourage you to practice the shedding of pure love and joy, just like I told you and showed you how a second ago, and practice that for the very least a minute every day at some point. It will bring your anxiety down. It will bring your ability to give grace to others up. And that's where we want to be. One more card on the inauguration, and then we're going to talk about the fires. Woo. Contract. And this is a contract in the upright. You know, society, our country right now, because that is who, well, it is more than our country. It is also the world, because as Donald Trump comes in, we are making many contracts throughout the world. contract right now. We are contracting as a people with Donald Trump to make some changes in our lives. And many of us, again, feel like they're going to be awful changes. And some we're not going to agree with. That has been true with every single presidency I've lived through that I'm recalling. Except the most impactful as a child was, of course, the assassination of JFK. And he was lauded and he was this wonderful man. And I believe he was targeted because he was targeting big money in the world, as is Donald Trump, believe it or not. But they wiped him out. Well, turns out what we know about JFK now, if we knew that then, he probably wouldn't have been elected. But we assumed that he was this man of honor, that he can, you can be both things. You can be bringing forth honor and be a jerk at the same time. He was a womanizer. If we'd known that, we probably wouldn't have elected him. That was a lot of what the energy against Trump was about, was that he was a womanizer. It's like, yep, he's a jerk. I don't like him at all. But he is in place now, and he will be making huge changes. We get to direct with our energy the sharpness, the ease with which these changes move through the world, through us, by shedding our loving energy on the process. You don't have to be in love with Trump, but you do have to be part of that process, because you are. Your energy is part of that process. You directing your energy is the best thing you can do right now into that place of love. We have made a contract as a country, whether you like it or not, with Trump. Engage in being part of that contract and how it affects everyone's lives and the lives around the world, by shedding that love energy on that process, on that contract on that contract that is happening. The next card is about the fires. Oh, and the patience card came up. It's not kind of a strange thing to come up, but the truth is, with, we're gonna divide here between all the sadness, destruction, pain, loss, all of that, and that underlying path that these fires were part of. I listened to someone today, and it had been something I had been thinking about myself, about why these fires happened. And I very much went into all of the energy present throughout that area of great deception, great control, great manipulation that has come out of that. And we're seeing in those lauded people that are pieces of very evil energy in this world, the P. Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, all of these people, Meryl Streep, all of these people, when Weinstein's trial happened and it was coming out, all of these people knew this stuff was going on with these innocent, lovely young women who just wanted to be in that industry, and who were raped and sexually abused. And all of them knew this stuff. Oprah knew all of this stuff, and she's lauded as this shining light. So is Meryl Streep, and all of this evilness that has been going on for decades, coming from that area. Yes, there are innocents there that are suffering. There are always innocents that are suffering at the power hand, and innocents now in a very huge pictorial way. But this is a clear out. This is, and this woman had a kind of a different view about what these fires were about, that they were propagated. And I've heard a couple others say that they were started by this power elite up there who realized their ability at control, and all of this stuff, the secrets that were going to come out, that probably will still come out. We'll still discover a lot of them, because the cosmic energy is all about that too. But they are burning it down, and they have popped up all of these movie studios, all of this icky energy in third world countries now, like South Africa. Canada is a very big maker of movies now. They've got a lot of energy there. So there's a lot of ugliness that is being burnt out. The innocents are suffering, and they will revive as a phoenix energy. This world is going to get a lot more tumultuous. Another yin and yang. This is about the fires, the balance that the clear out is creating. Another very toxic, very ugly energy in this world are the insurance companies. I heard of just one story, but I know it's been more. Yep, Julia, that's who it was. She said Carrie Kay was talking about that. What was I just? I forgot my train of thought. Maybe that wasn't supposed to come through. Oh, did I just put it back on? Oh, yeah, the yin and yang, the balance that the fires are producing. We've seen many stories about people who are living in the grace of the aftermath that, oh my God, yes, my house and all my belongings are gone, but my family is intact and safe. Getting back to the very, very foundation of what is important in our lives, the foundation of safety of one another, and what we can do for these people, and the building of new. When things are burned away, it clears for new growth to happen, very much like what happens in the forests. Many of the trees in the forest have to have heat in order for their seeds to sprout. And as devastating and horrible as it is, that is what it takes for newness to be born. And so sending them love, sending them grace, sending them money if you can to help rebuild. Oh, and I talked about the insurance company. It is another power source that needs to crumble. And we need to have a very balanced insurance insurance company corporation. They canceled. I started on that and got sidetracked. They canceled several people when the fires broke out that could threaten, that were even miles away, people who'd never had any claims, who had been with that company for 75 years. They just canceled them. That kind of power is untenable. There needs to be a total shift in the insurance industry. We need to have a people insurance where you're paid in, and everybody pays in, and there is a balance. And, after a couple of claims, yes, then it's like, okay, we can no longer afford to. But when you've had 0 claims, or it had been many years since you'd had any claim, my husband and I used to talk about this for car insurance. Like, why do we have to pay on every car? Because I can only drive one at a time. Why aren't we insuring the people, and to the highest amount of the most expensive car they own, and let that be? There are just many ways that this industry needs to be reactivated, and we need to be purveyors of that. So activism is up, but of activism from this place of love with service to humanity, whatever that looks like for you. But it is imperative that you do your own work. I think we are complete for this morning. I do hope this has given you some ideas to move forward with, some tools. Quickly, I just want to say, I'm doing a class on when suicide presents as an option, because that is an epidemic. Our young people are feeling hopeless, helpless, and powerless. And my class can give them tools to regenerate and manage their own emotional energy right now. We need that. I have pinned to this site, and I do ask you to share. If I post that, it comes across to you. Please share. We need to get this word out. It is an online Zoom class, so I can have 100 attendees at a time. I've offered a sliding scale, 4 different pricing options, so everyone can afford this. I can't control how Facebook puts things out, or YouTube. I keep putting it out, but I can ask for help in getting the word out. And this is an incredibly powerful class at a time when it is greatly needed. I really resisted posting this because it is such a serious, powerful topic, but it is time. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.